Hello Pokemon fans. This match is another 6v6 single battle. This one's against Javon. His lineup's pretty competitive to say the least, but I'll give it a good try to, win the match. So we'll see how it goes. So, excuse me. So here I start with Shuckle to, start with sticky webs and hazards. And he starts with his Tapu Lele. So the Tapu Lele uses Psychic, and with the Psychic terrain, it's going to do some damage even on a Shuckle. So I decided to drop their speed first, or my opponent's speed, because I think that'll definitely be beneficial in the future. And after the second Psychic, there's no way Shuckle can survive that. So I figured Tapu Lele was Scarfed or Choice Specs, so I decided to bring Scrafty to force a switch. And here, my opponent, Javon, brings in Toxapex. But I wanted to set up first, if I can get a quick, easy kill. And I remember facing other Toxapexes before, and I wanted to get another Dragon Dance off. But it has Haze, and then it completely destroys all the work I put in already. So unfortunately, I lose all my stats that I raised, so I'm back at neutral. And I decide to bring in Rampardos. See if I can break through with Toxapex, because Toxapex is a very, very bulky Pokemon. And on the switch in, Toxapex uses Toxic. And it poisons my Rampardos, so I'm put on a timer. So I have to be very cognizant of what I'm doing. And it switches out. And it brings in Arceus, and oh my goodness. The Dalai Lama himself. The Godly Llama. So here I wanted to use a Rock Slide so I can outspeed it. But the poison's going to do a little bit of damage. So here I use Earthquake. See if I can do some kind of damage on Arceus. And it uses Defog, so it took off the sticky webs. So now my opponent's speed is going to be just normal speed. And I use Iron Head to try to flinch it, but it doesn't even do that much power. And Arceus uses Earth Power, and that's a KO to my opponent. So Rampardos is out, and I bring in Gastrodon to see if I can slow the game down a little bit. And with this, I use Scald. See, if I could have been able to burn the Arceus, but if I would have gotten Ferrothorn burned, that would have been great as well. But I decided to switch out and bring in Scrafty back. But my opponent sets up with Stealth Rocks. So here, same thing. I need to set up with Dragon Dance, so I can really hurt the Ferrothorn, because they usually carry. Well, they have the Iron Barb's ability, and that's just annoying. But see, the leftovers was what I was really worried about, because it's just going to sap my health away. So Ferrothorn and myself are still pretty high health, and I decided it's time to start Drain Punching. So luckily I bring the Ferrothorn's health under half, and I'm back at full health. But unfortunately, with the Iron Barb's ability, it hurts me. And he also is carrying Rocky Helmet, so that does double damage. And then with Gyro Ball, and with the +2 speed that I have, or the +1, excuse me, I can't remember. I'm already at red after the leftovers, so Scrafty's not looking very good right now, but I know I can KO this Mon. So I finally get to kill one of his Pokemon. And get a little bit of health back. But the Iron Barb's ability and also the Rocky Helmet brings me back to red. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But luckily, I get an attack increase. And with the leftovers, I'm back at 30%, so... Or at 30 hit points, I mean. And unfortunately, he has a Weavile, and I'm already thinking, oh, he's got the Fake Out. But he uses an Ice Shard to knock me out. So unfortunately, Scrafty couldn't knock out some more Pokemon. But with this, I bring in the Tentacruel. Because I wanted to take out the Toxic Spikes, but it uses Knockoff. And it knocks out like most of my health. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So I spin the Toxic Spikes out of there so that my next Pokemon doesn't get poisoned. And the Weavile finishes me off with another Knockoff. So here I bring in Gastrodon. And I was expecting the Weavile to stay in and try to hurt me, but it didn't. And I decided to get out of the match because the Gastrodon Toxapex match is going to be very slow, and I was more worried about the Toxic, honestly. So I get the prediction right after I bring in Farfetch'd, and unfortunately my Farfetch'd is put on a timer. So here I use Swords Dance to increase my attack, so I can try to knock out this Toxapex, but unfortunately the Javon reads me like a book and uses Haze and brings my attack back down to neutral. So here I just have no choice but to start slashing away and hoping these crits will do more damage. But the Toxapex is using Scald just to wither my health away. And along with the toxic damage, it's just racking up. So here I use another Slash. And my opponent decides to use Recover to bring his Toxapex's health back in the green. So after this turn, I use Slash again, but unlucky for me, I can't get it past half health, and it doesn't matter because Toxapex is able to recover that health back to full. And unfortunately my Farfetch'd couldn't do much, but even though I gave it its all. And here I bring in the Gastrodon. So I don't have Earth Power on this Gastrodon. I actually have Ice Beam, Scald, Toxic, and Recover. So here the Toxapex poisons me with Toxic, and it's pretty much a done deal at this point. Unfortunately, I really don't have anything for this Pokemon, so it's just a all-out stall fest. So it scalds me, and I'd much rather have the burn, honestly, than the Toxic. So here the poison's just going to work and just sapping my health more and more after each turn. And I'm hoping to get the burn, or I'm getting something. But unfortunately I don't even get the burn. And Toxapex is still launching the Scalds. I heal a little bit with leftovers, but so is the Toxapex healing with Black Sludge. and the toxic damage is just racking on. So here I use another Scald, trying to get the burn. And it finally gets the burn, but it's a little too late at this point. So here I'm close to half health. But the toxic damage is pretty much set. And I just didn't feel like recovering because it's just gonna, it doesn't matter at this point. So here I use another Scald. And the Toxapex uses Scald as well. And it leaves me with 16 hit points, but I get a little bit of leftovers recovery. And the Toxapex recovers a bit as well with Black Sludge, but with the toxic damage racking up, my Gastrodon couldn't do anything, and I lose the match. So, there really wasn't much I could have done in this match, I feel. The opponent honestly made some really good calls with the Toxapex. Both times with using Haze, it was on the mark. It was really well timed and everything. And also having Arceus with a defog also helped him get rid of the sticky webs to make his team a little bit faster. And also giving the Ferrothorn, just Ferrothorn in general is just a very annoying Pokemon to deal with. But overall, it was still a good match. It's a good learning match. But I hope you guys stick around. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and stick around and watch the next video. All right, later.